Okay, I was asked to meet somebody 13 months after occupied Fredericton was destroyed by the city workers, the mayor, and the cops. So, supposed to meet somebody here, and we'll see how it goes. Cold, windy, City Hall, and how you doing?
Oh, you know, taking care of some business.
Make me get out in the cold like this. Has to be good.
Oh yeah.
13 months after occupied Fredericton was destroyed right in this spot.
Yeah, exactly here. It's kind of nostalgic being here now.
How come you guys never had a memorial? Never thought about it?
Not really. A lot of us moved out west for work, which is the way it usually goes in the Maritimes. So that's probably one major reason why is a lot of us just aren't here anymore. We did have some interviews with the media around January 3rd, though, which is when it was all torn down. So yeah, we talked about it anyway. But actually, having a memorial here would now technically be illegal under bylaw L12.
Well, I'm talking about a gathering and candles and
that's banned.
Beer, smoke marijuana, you know, the good old stuff.
We didn't smoke marijuana. Actually, people.
You didn't smoke marijuana.
Always.
I would have smoked some marijuana if I would have stayed here in the cold, minus 30, minus 40. It was cold.
People always thought we were dealing. They'd come up to us and ask, "Hey man, do you have some weed?" We're like, "No, go away. You're gonna get us arrested. Get out of here."
It's funny,
don't have any.
You guys were raided. And what day was that?
January 3rd, 5 a.m. 2012.
And 16 days later, the racist cops raided my place.
Well,
and
yeah,
it was a rough. The wind.
Oh yeah.
It was a rough month.
Very rough, and you know, I think both cases show that there are issues with the Fredericton police force and the way that it works. The cop was standing right there and watching them destroy our stuff and knock the thing down on our heads, and he did nothing. And then he went and threatened to arrest Nick Moore.
Right there.
You know? Yeah. They were standing right there.
Yeah, Nick Moore was standing across the street there. And the cop said, you know, so...
Well, he was eventually. He tried filming from there where he had a good view. And then they threatened to arrest him. So he went in front of Tony's Music Box across the road. Then they threatened to arrest him there.
Yeah.
And then they said, you have to stand by that telephone booth.
Yeah.
The reason they wanted to stand by a telephone booth is because they parked their police car right there. So you couldn't see anything from that.
Exactly.
They didn't want anybody to see what was happening.
It was beginning their fascist regime, and then they went on to attack the blogger. Yeah. Went under the child sexual exploitation charge. That means child porn.
Is that what they did?
Yep. They went to the internet provider and said that I was into child porn, and they needed to search the computer. They would have found one picture of child porn, would have been over.
It sounds like they're just using whatever they can and go after you because they don't like you. I mean,
they're racist.
Honestly, that's the way it is.
Okay, never mind me. So, you. 13 months later.
Yeah, 13 months later, it's still before the courts.
Now, why? What do you want in court? Why are you going to court for?
We filed a lawsuit against them because it turns out that the bylaw that Brad Woodside said gave him the authority to do what he did, tear our stuff down, destroy our property, send it to the landfill, etc. The provisions in that bylaw that he says are there aren't actually there.
Like what?
Well, he says that Section 5 of Bylaw T4 prohibits people from erecting a tent or a structure or anything on public property. Okay. It doesn't say that anywhere in Section 5. And that's provable. Go to Section 5, Bylaw T4, anybody.
Are you trying to say a politician lied?
Yeah, imagine that, a politician lied.
Is he one of the 99%?
That's not how he seems to serve.
Serve the 1%.
But that's why we're here protesting in the first place.
But he was supporter. He was supporter, you know.
Oh, he said he
before he was telling the media.
Yeah, he said nice things to media, but that's to make himself look really reasonable. See, he would not be so nice to us in private. You know, the things he said to us in private were not so nice. But then you go to the media and say, oh yeah, flowers and joy.
Trying to tell me Woodside has a split personality?
I was saying that he says one thing and does another.
Oh, really? Okay.
Imagine that, a politician saying one thing and doing something different. If he didn't do that, he'd probably be the only politician around. This
is where the tent was. This is City Hall, and the Justice Building is right down there. So you came from there today?
Yeah, I was actually at a meeting with the clerk of the court about certain issues. They estimate it'll go to court now in either April, probably April, but it depends on if some cases settle that are currently before the court and clear up space. If not April, probably May or June, but it shouldn't be any longer than that. It's about time, even because we filed it in April.
What do you want?
Lawsuit. We want, the main thing is a declaration that what they did was illegal, that they acted outside the bounds of their authority.
You don't want no money?
That's the main thing. Well, part of it's a constitutional tort. Thing is, you sue somebody, you have to sue for money, or else it's just considered to be frivolous. So there's a constitutional tort as well for the infringement of our rights, which goes hand in hand with that. If they acted illegally and infringe our rights, then of course we're entitled to damages. So there's a constitutional tort. We also want our stuff back or compensation.
Where's your
for our
stuff?
They said it went to the city of Fredericton Depot.
What was your stuff?
Street.
What was in there?
Oh, there's a couple Arctic sleeping bags.
Ah, come on! Didn't you have a couple 15 minutes of fame? Isn't that good enough?
Oh, those sleeping bags are good, man. We had fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. See, we went up and we got what they had left at the depot. We got everything that was left, but not all of it was there. So, and interestingly, mostly the more expensive items are the ones that weren't there, which makes me a little suspicious.
Like what?
Well, like the sleeping bag. It's a $200 sleeping bag.
$200 sleeping bag? Why would you bring a $200 sleeping bag here?
Minus 40. Those things aren't cheap. And fire extinguisher, smoke detectors. I mean, this stuff adds up. But some of it was just destroyed. I mean, they cut it down with chainsaws, right? I mean, they even argue, oh no, we didn't destroy it, we dismantled it. You don't dismantle anything with a chainsaw. You cut it apart.
Who's your lawyer?
I am. Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm the one representing the case. I'm the legal advisor.
So then they'll look at you and say, you're not a lawyer.
Yeah, you can represent your own case, though.
Can you?
Oh yeah, you have the right to do that. Even if it was a full civil action, it's a small claims action, but you can still represent yourself.
That's what I should do against the racist cops.
The rest of my day was spent in the Law Society library in the courthouse. That's where I've been spending a lot of days, just looking up case law and just getting used to what I'm going to need to do.
The judges there.
I've sat through a lot of cases.
They're worse here. They're the most. Yeah. They're just a bunch of good. The judges, bunch of fascists. Oh yeah.
Well, I've been sitting through St. John trials. I haven't seen the judges.
Oh no, big difference here. Here, like if they give you conditions and probation, if you breach it, you automatically go to jail for 30 days. St. John, Bupton, you don't go. So it's like the elitism, the racism against the poor.
Probation, yeah.
Probation or a little breach of condition that's set up by the cops that's impossible to follow. Like you can't fart on King Street. You go to jail for 30 days. Don't get me wound up on that. Anyway, so
farting on King
you got 1 minute.
Jail for a while for that.
You got 1 minute. What's the final thought here?
That's the final thought. Well, you know, in a way, I think Brad Woodside helped our cause. He didn't intend to, but I think in a way he helped it, because the reason we were here, the main reason, was that politicians aren't representing the people anymore. And he demonstrated that perfectly by acting well outside of his power and making up bylaw provisions that don't exist. You can't claim to represent someone and then lie to them in the next breath and say that this bylaw says one thing when it says something completely different. So he's helped prove our point, quite frankly, and so ironically I think he's helped us, and once this goes to court, you know, we're going to be vindicated.
You Scottish?
No.
How come you're so stubborn?
I do have some Scottish blood in me. No, French can be. I'm mostly French.
I'm half Scottish.
The French can be stubborn too, you know. And we play dirty sometimes.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. So good luck. Keep on going.
Thank you very much.
No problem.